a lot of preachers here.
My audio is being picked up too. We're not gonna fuck up like last time. All right, welcome everybody to week. Anybody got a guess? Anybody know what week we're on?
91.
Any other guessers in the chat?
90.
What did what did you
Actually,
say?
no, 88, 88,
Ethan and Reaping. What did you say?
I said 90.
88.
Yeah, 88's right. Good job, Justin and Reaping.
Oh.
88. Yeah. Week 88 of Album Club. This week was my choice. We listened to Baby by Petrol Girls. This is the last album in our 2022 rotation. Next week we will be doing 2022 singles. Everyone will be picking potentially a favorite song from the year. Anyway, I will start us off by talking about why I chose it and my thoughts and a score and stuff. And I picked this album because for starters, I think that it's just excellent. I think that it's so quality, so good. They brought so many interesting ideas to the table. Riot Grrrl as a genre is like one of my favorite genres. I love Pussy Riot. I love La Tigra. Kathleen Hanna is my goat. So it's really cool that there's been a bit of a revival for the genre with Ethab Beaver dropping a project last year, as well as this Petrol Girls album. I just think it's so good and important what they talk about, and I feel like it's so cool to hear these topics that I find they make me angry, and to hear them put in such a well said, powerful, poetic, and also just angry way, because I love that. It's a great way to feel that and understand the expression of it. And I just think it's so dope. I think it's really well said lyrically. They cover such a broad range of issues involving feminism in the past year or so. I think it was a really important album to drop when it did. It dropped literally months after Roe v. Wade was overturned. So it was really powerful the first time I listened to it, for sure. So more about the music. I just think that sonically it's such a ridiculously cool album. They bring a lot of really interesting ideas to the table in terms of just super quirky guitar riffs, as well as just overwhelming walls of noise, and just the guitar work on this whole project is so fucking impressive. The riff on Preachers, as soon as that song started, I was like, yo, this album's sick. It vaguely reminds me of Black Midi, but it's a Riot Grrrl Black Midi. So it's just it's so up my alley. I can't even. I guess all that being said, I have to come up with a score, and I haven't thought about it, and I feel so mixed about it, because it's I don't have anything I can fault the album on. I think it's just so good. But I don't want to just be the 10 disher. I don't want to just dish out 10s all the time. I'm going to give it a 9.5. 9.5. On to Simon.
I literally just woke up, so I'll keep it brief. I think this album's a good time. I don't think it's an amazing time. I'm going to give it a 7.1.
Thank you, Simon. On to Ethan.
This isn't really my type of music, so I didn't enjoy it as much. I actually really haven't listened to this genre.
Punk. Hardcore punk.
Hardcore punk by women. Really ever. And that was interesting. And it was, I think I enjoyed it more because of it. But overall, I still wasn't that fond of it. But I know it is just what the genre is, so I can't I can appreciate it for what it is without enjoying it as much myself. So I am gonna go with a 4 point.
4 point what?
4.8.
Copy. Thank you. On to Lauren.
I was a pretty big fan of the album. Um, I don't know, I liked all the topics that it covered. Like it literally covered like every like heavy hitting topic for feminism and like just like leftist like ideology, I guess, or whatever you want to call it. Um, so in that aspect, I really liked it. I really liked the sound of everything. Um, so yeah, it was, I don't know, I really liked it. It's like almost like cathartic, I guess I could say.
Yeah, that's a good word.
Um, so I would give it probably like a 8.8.
8.8. Thank you, Lauren. All right, on to Justin, and as we all know, Justin hates women, so let's see how this goes.
Yes, that is true. Um, First thing I'll say, this album was a lot. Uh, I feel like they had a lot of the content is a lot, like what they're talking about is a lot, the music is a lot, and just like the guitar riffs, everything about it is just very like pressing almost, and kind of gives this like sense of urgency or stress, which I definitely think they were going for. And because of that, some of my favorite parts on the album is when it calms down with like unsettle and like some of the slower parts. And I only wish that they incorporated that more throughout and did and took it slowly, because I feel like they kept just trying to push, which also I feel like is the genre. But I really did enjoy the parts where it slowed down. Overall, I do like me a good guitar riff, and like Stewie said, there are some crazy guitar riffs in here, so I did enjoy those. But I just found it a little bit overbearing for my taste. And if the either the album was shorter or they had more of those like slowed down parts, I think I would have enjoyed it more. But I still like some of the songs, and I'm gonna give it a 6.
A 6. Thank you, Justin. On to Reaping.
All right, I got a lot to say about this. I do agree when Stuewe on what they said about the messages and stuff. Because the thing is, it needs to be talked about more in these kinds of genres just to reflect the message for people. Because these things are happening every day, and we do have to be conscious about these things, and we have to, help out in any way we can. And I just wish, and this is in general, I just wish music just has like it will get more of these messages in more genres, and not except for like this one and a few others, but I just wish it would be more like broad in that way. But yeah, the messages are important. I do understand the aspect that it can be a lot, but it's a lot that's going on, so I do feel like it's needed. But other than that, about the album itself, I do enjoy any kind of aspect on rock in general. So punk is no difference for me. I enjoy it, and I do enjoy that we have these rough like instrumentals and like in the singing also, but it reflects on the anger and everything. So I do enjoy that. For me, there on the start of the album, it can sound a little bit samey, but when it hits Clown, that song, that's when I get the variety that I was looking for, and I enjoyed it a lot. So yeah, I did enjoy it overall. I do like the grunginess, the roughness of it. So yeah, I'll give it like an 8.
All right. 8 from Reaping. Thank you, Reaping. On to Ryder.
I was I was really confused on my first listen to how I felt about the album, because I felt like it was like a 50-50 split on songs, where I either really liked the vocals or really didn't like the vocals, which is odd when the vocalist doesn't change, but it was very song dependent, which was unusual for me. I thought the instrumentals were pretty good largely. wouldn't say this is necessarily my genre of music largely, but I think that there are certain aspects of this genre that I definitely enjoy. I think closer to like the Paramore side of this, I suppose, which I don't know what kind of change that would be. I don't know if that's like more pop or what it is, but this was definitely an interesting album. As far as the messages of the songs or like the lyrics, I didn't get a lot of them just based on the loud instrumentals and whatnot. But for a lot of the ones that I did here, I think that the topics that they cover are definitely important. But I think for a few of them, it kind of, I would say, misses the mark for me. I think that Clowns is a really, really good message, and I really like the lyrics on that song. Probably my favorite song lyrically on the album. But I think that it's difficult for these this genre of album to have like a I don't know how to describe it. To have like a message that's that is shown in like a good way. I don't know how else to describe it. I think it's I think that with albums where the genre kind of is inherently kind of angry sounding, it's almost very it's very difficult for anyone that doesn't agree initially to be swayed by this genre. And I understand that's not necessarily the goal, but it is something that has always kind of irked me a bit about this. It's kind of like a shoving it in the face of the people that disagree, which I think is probably the goal. But I wish that it was better crafted, I suppose. But again, there were definitely songs that I thought portrayed a really solid message, like Clowns. I think overall it's pretty good. I could, some of the songs I could definitely have gone without. Some of the songs I felt were really good, such as Bones, Clowns, and a few others that I'll talk about later. But overall, I think I'd give it like a 6.1, I think.
6.1. All right, thank you, Ryder. Now let's move on to favorite tracks, starting with me. My favorite track's Preachers. It's just such an incredibly strong start to the album. That guitar riff, as soon as it hits, like I said, I insta knew I was going to love this album. Driving to Toronto, listening to it for the first time when that guitar riff hit, I was like, oh shit, this is so cool. So yeah, Preachers. On to Simon.
I'm gonna go with Sick and Tired.
Thank you, Simon. On to Reaping.
I'm going to go with Unsettle.
Thank you, Ethan. On to Lauren.
So, I was stuck in between two songs. I really like Violent by Design, but honestly, I really like Sick and Tired, and I think it's really cool that like Sick and Tired is like at basically the end of the album, after just like going on about like all these like problems in the world for like women and just people in general. So yeah, I thought that was cool. So
you gotta pick
Sick
one.
and Tired.
Okay, Sick and Tired. Thank you, Lauren. On to Justin.
Think Baby I Had an Abortion goes so hard.
Let's fucking
Really
go.
enjoyed that one.
I almost wanted to pick it, but Preachers hit too hard for me. But Baby I Had an Abortion, it's just such. I love how it's almost like I can't think of the word, but it's like funny the way that they present it, and it's so braggadocious. It's like, yeah, I had an abortion and I am not sorry. I fucking love that. It's just it hits so hard. Anyway, thank you, Justin. On to Reaping.
I gotta have to say Bones. I enjoyed it, and I feel like it's a good closure for the album.
All right, thank you, Reaping. I agree. On to Ryder.
I was between Bones and Sick and Tired. I think they're both really good, but I would go with Sick
They're
and
the
Tired.
two I was between.
They're very good.
Nice. All right. I'm really glad everybody agrees that. I'm also just really happy that the album has such a strong ending. I feel like with an album that's like, admittedly, I guess kind of. See, I think this like sonically it's changed up so much track to track that I wouldn't really call it one note, but it also is kind of like, you know, if you don't like hardcore punk, you basically have Unsettle and that's it. But it's good that like you don't get sick of it by the end and that the last two tracks are like bangers. Anyway, on to least favorite. I'm gonna go. I mean, it's like literally impossible. Also, no saying Scraps doesn't count. Scraps doesn't count. I guess I'm gonna go. It's so hard. Like, there's no song that I dislike on this at all. I think I'm gonna say "Feed My Fire." On to Simon.
This is gonna be a weird take, but I'm gonna go with "Baby I Had an Abortion," and that's not really the song's fault. Spotify was just spamming that and Preachers in my playlists over and over, and I thought that one got very annoying after a while.
You know, I think that's a valid take because it's so like braggadocious. It's almost a little goofy in the way that it's braggadocious. So I could see.
I think it's
that
a good
one.
song.
Yeah. All right, thank you, Simon. On to Ethan.
I'm gonna go with "Feed My Fire."
All right,
I
thank
don't
you.
necessarily know if there's a specific reason. Like, nothing stood out from it, but it's just the one that I was overall focused on.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think the end is so powerful too. It's got a great ending. It's, you know, the first 2 minutes of it are just like they're good.
Yeah.
Probably my least favorite 2 minutes of the album, so that's why that's the one. Anyway, thank you. On to Lauren.
I also felt the same way about Feed My Fire, so that is my least favorite.
All right, thank you, Lauren. On to Justin.
Gonna go Violent by Design because I think that's the point of the album where I started to realize it was being a bit much and I wanted it to slow down more.
Thank you, Justin. That's so funny because Lauren always says you have cop vibes, and then you pick the song that says ACAB as your least favorite.
I know.
Oh, it's like no fucking way. You just said the ACAB song's his least favorite.
Wow.
It's so funny. Anyway,
I've
thank
been
you,
undercover
Justin.
this whole time.
You live at the police place. You live at the
This is
station.
true.
It's the perfect cover-up.
It's the
Who
perfect cover.
suspected?
Yeah,
God.
honestly. I would have never saw it coming.
I
Anyway.
actually think Justin has zero cop vibes. I don't see it.
Well, that's hilarious because Justin's.
That's how you get got.
We all established Justin's the biggest narc. I forget what game we were playing.
Well, yeah, but that's not the same thing.
That's the same thing. Anyway,
Justin's just spineless.
let's move on to Reaping.
I gotta have to say Feed My Fire because it does hit the sameness I was talking about earlier. But in this album, it's not a bad thing of the sameness because we all know it has a lot of variety here. But you know, that's where it hit there. But yeah, Feed My Fire.
Yeah, good take. Thank you, Reaping. On to Ryder.
I don't think "Feed My Fire" is a good song. I'll have to go with that one for sure.
Wow, interesting. I'm surprised there was such a consensus on worst when it's like they're all. In my opinion, it's a ridiculously consistent record. So it surprises me that everybody agreed for the most part.
I think it's also easier to say that a song that is in like near the beginning or near the end is the best or the worst because they're more memorable than the beginning. I mean, it's like how the memory works.
Potentially, yeah, absolutely. If it's not like, depends on the amount of listens, of course, but
I do like the chorus though.
yeah, same. I like the. I mean, I like I said, the end is a great part of the album, but the end of Feed My Fire. But you know, first 2 minutes are pretty good. Well, does anyone have anything they want to say about "Baby" by Petrol Girls? All right, congratulations, everybody. We made it to another singles week, finishing up the 2022 rotation. We should come up with a theme for the next rotation. I think that'd be fun.
First album listened to or album that you really enjoy that you think is like either controversial or like normally people don't like.
Yeah, guilty pleasures.
Guilty pleasures. I don't like the term guilty pleasures, but the idea of it, you know.
Yeah.
I think at some point we should do a rotation where the album, the artist of the album has to have under a certain amount of monthly listeners.
Oh, I fuck with that. Well, anywho, let's tap it in and wrap it up. Very concise album club. Everybody brought like cool ideas to the table. Good talks. So yeah, make sure to tell us in the comments what you thought about Baby by Petrol Girls, and be sure to listen to the 2022 Song of the Year singles playlist that will be in the description, because that's what we'll be discussing next week. Everybody say bye.
Bye.
Bye.